Welcome back to Just Code It. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sankey diagrams in Plotly. The first diagram is a very simple one. If you don't know anything about Sankey diagrams, I'm not even sure if that's how you pronounce it. What Sankey diagrams are used for is mapping movements between stages or entities. This can be useful in energy, materials, and money flow. They're built using nodes, much like a graph, where you have a source and a target. These diagrams are best for visualizing resource distribution, energy loss, supply chains, and user journeys. Let's scroll down a bit and actually look at this. So we have the very simple one where we just have the source and target. Next up, we have a multi-level one where we're going to a intermediate level where it then will split out. You can see some of source A's information does get passed along to target F and target E. The final diagram we have is a energy flow. This is one of the common use cases for Sankey diagrams because you can take the total energy and see which paths it takes to the final solution. We have residential and industrial, and you can imagine this can be broken up into even more granular detail for industrial, residential, or location, or number of rooms. And then we have our sources of energy. Now that we've taken a look at all the diagrams, let's move back over. Also, if you want to jump to the GitHub, I have this in a notebook. I think it's a bit easier to understand when you're using it in this interactive window. The first example we're going to do is just a simple source to target and just learn about how we construct one of these. The first thing is the padding. This is the distance between each one of these nodes. Then we have the thickness. This is the horizontal width. After that, we have the line, which is the border around each node. If we put this as red, I spelled red right, you would see now we have red outlines. We have our labels for each source and target, and finally the color of each source and target. But because we only specified one and didn't put it in a list, they're all the same. After creating the node data, we want to then create those edges between each node. We have the nodes on the left and the nodes on the right. How we do this is linking the data. We create this variable link data, then we specify sources. After specifying the sources, we then map the targets. It's easier to create these row by row instead of column by column. I like to go source. I start with this source over here. We have source A, and it goes to target 2 over here, and the value for that is 8, and we specify right there if you're creating these with your own two hands. But normally these are calculated based off of formulas or data. You don't really have to worry about that. They're typically percentages, but for here it's easier to read them straight down instead of straight across. After creating our linking data, we then pass our nodes and our linking data to the Go Sankey. That creates a Sankey trace. From that Sankey trace, we're then going to create a figure with the Sankey data or the Sankey trace. We're then going to use figure update layout, specify a title and font size, finally show it, and print. We already did print this, but here it is. I'm going to skip over the explanation, come down here to the next one. Run it real quick. We have something to look at. This one is the multi-level one where we have a source, an intermediate step, and then a target. And you can have as many intermediate steps as you want. If you think about any sort of neural network, they have many intermediate steps, and you could map them using things like this. We're going to start with creating our node data again. We're going to do our padding, our thickness, and our lines. We're just specifying all the information around there. Then we're just going to give all the labels. This is just source A, source B, intermediate, and target. After creating our node data, we're then going to do our source, target, and values. To start, I'll just do a few of these. We have the first node, so right here, it's connecting to target 2, this node, and the value is 10, which we have popping over in that corner. The next one is source 1. This is this one down here. It's going to source 2. It's going to be this track, and the value is 5. Now we can just jump to this random one. This is the second level, and we're starting with source 2. We're starting over here, and we're going to source 5. How many do we have? I believe this is source 5. Yep, source 5, and the value is 7. I'm an idiot, forgot. Starting with 0, so not target E, it's actually target F. That is number 5, and it has a value of 7, which it does. And then finally 3 goes essentially straight through to target F. Now, if we wanted to add some more onto here, we could do another 3 going to 4, and we can give it a value of 1. Now you can see how we created this. The interesting thing about this, though, is we do not specify anything in here that causes this to break, even though it's essentially creating energy here, but you can see that it's not completely lining up by the little leftover. We got rid of that and just did 0. It evens out, but when we put a number in there that exceeds the previous steps, you can see it's creating energy in our next example. This is just something to look out for when you're creating these. Also, you can write some pretty simple logic to essentially throw an error when this happens. Let's move on to our final example. I'm just going to run it so we have something to look at. This is a energy flow example where we're going to take all of our input sources of energy and map it to our output. We're not really focusing much on the structure of this one. We're actually mostly focusing on the styling. The previous one was more structure. Here, we're just going to create some labels like we have been doing, and then create some color nodes and linking color nodes. The node data is pretty much like all the other ones. Thickness 20, line black, labels are the labels that we specified above that list, and the node colors are the node colors that we specified above. Across most of Plotly, when you have labels, you can almost always define those labels colors with a list of the same size, or you just give it something like red, and now all the labels will be red, but that doesn't look as good. We're gonna put it back. Node colors is not specified. All right, there it goes. I almost messed it up for myself. After we create those node colors, we're then going to link the data. Again, read it straight down. First one, coal, is going to go to number 3, which is always going to be the electric grid, and it's going to give it 45% of the total energy going through. And then from there, it's going to get split out to either residential or industrial. You can imagine this also being split out in numerous other ways, like breaking down residential into size of home, different attributes or aspects. After creating those links, we're then going to assign them colors. After creating our node data, our link data, like always, we then create our Sankey trace. The only difference this time is we have arrangement, and it's going to use snap. This just helps the nodes stay in a grid alignment. Looks a bit cleaner. After we have our traces, we're then going to create the figure using the data from the Sankey trace. And then we're going to update a few things, nothing too fancy, and show the diagram. And that is it. And we have our pretty little Sankey diagram. Please like and subscribe and comment down below if you have any further questions. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you next time.